It's the American League Division Series, the Detroit Tigers against the Oakland Athletics. I'll give you a preview and tell you who I think will win. Hey everybody, it's Paulie. Welcome back to This Week in Red, where we're talking all things Red Sox and Major League Baseball. A very interesting American League Division Series between the AL Central champion Detroit Tigers and the improbable champion of the American League West, the Oakland A's. The A's stormed back from a 13-game deficit on June 30th to overtake the Texas Rangers on the last day of the season and win the American League West. And the A's, as we've talked about them on this show during the season, did it with basically an all-rookie starting rotation and a very, very young lineup centered around former Red Sox player Josh Reddick and Cuban import Yoenis Cespedes, along with some other guys in that lineup like Josh Donaldson, Derek Norris behind the plate, a guy they acquired from the Washington Nationals for one of their frontline starting pitchers in the offseason. You add that all up, and the A's had a remarkable season. But they run into a Detroit team that's peaking at the right time. And as I look at this series, I think of one word: pitching. We talked about how the A's have had 5 outstanding starting pitchers, but for the most part, they're all rookies. So this is a first-time experience for them. I don't know how much they're going to be fazed by it, but you got to take into consideration that this is the playoffs, and pressure ratchets up a notch, and young players, you never know how they're really going to react. But when you look over at the Detroit side of the ledger, you have Justin Verlander as the rock of that pitching staff. He's going to get 2 starts in this series regardless. He'll probably start games 1 and 5. But backing him up are Max Scherzer, who's a power pitcher, who's had a great season for the Tigers, and Doug Fister, who's a guy who kind of flies under the radar in Detroit, but he is a very, very solid number 3 starter. And because of those 3 guys having some experience and having Verlander as the anchor on that staff, I think the Tigers have a little bit of an edge in this series. I do think it's going to go 5 games, but you put the Tigers' pitching edge together with the lineup combo of Triple Crown winner Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder backing him up, and I think the Tigers just have a little bit too much for an A's team that's definitely done more than anybody could have ever expected. This should be a great series, but I like the Tigers in 5. But how about you guys? Your prediction for Tigers-A's American League Division Series. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends about This Week in Red.